I need to tell you about something that happened to me in the woods of North Pennsylvania. Something I still can't explain. Something that makes me check my locks twice every night. I grew up in a small town called Wellsboro. If you know the area, you know it's surrounded by state game land. Miles and miles of thick forest. The kind of woods where sound doesn't travel right. Where you can scream and nobody hears you. Hunting season was practically a holiday there. Schools closed on the first day of rifle season because half the town would be out in the trees. My dad put a bow in my hands when I was 12. By 23, I was hunting alone. I thought I knew those woods. I was wrong. This happened during late archery season, November 2021. There was already snow on the ground, just a light dusting, enough to see tracks, enough to know when something had been moving, and when it hadn't. I had permission to hunt a 70-acre piece of private land, dense woods, an old logging trail cutting through, and way back in the property, an abandoned hunting cabin with a caving roof. I'd been there 4 or 5 times before. I had never seen another soul. I got there at 5:15 in the morning, pitch black. I parked near a rusted gate and walked in with my headlamp, cutting through the dark. The woods were dead silent, no wind, no animals, nothing. And I remember this clearly. I felt watched before I even reached my stand. I told myself it was just nerves, just the dark playing tricks. I climbed 20 feet up into my tree stand, and I waited for daylight. About an hour after sunrise, I saw it. 60 yards away. Another tree stand, a cheap ladder stand, old, weathered, like it had been rotting in someone's barn for years. But here's the thing, it wasn't there last weekend. I knew that property. I knew every trail, every landmark, every tree worth remembering. That stand had appeared out of nowhere. And then I noticed something worse. There were no footprints leading to it. None. Just one single line of tracks, coming from deep in the woods, stopping at the base of the stand. No tracks leading away. Around 8 a.m., I saw movement near that stand. At first, I thought it was a deer. I was wrong. It was a man. He was standing behind a tree, completely still, wearing a dirty gray hoodie, dark pants, no camo, no orange. He was staring directly at me. I don't know how long he'd been there. Then, slowly, he raised his arm, and he waved. Not a friendly wave, not a greeting. It was a message. I see you. I gave a small wave back, tried to convince myself he was just another hunter, maybe someone who didn't have proper gear. Then he stepped behind the tree. I waited for him to come out the other side. He never did. I watched that tree for 5 full minutes. Nothing. No movement, no footsteps, no sound. He just vanished. Around 10 a.m., I climbed down to investigate. I walked to the exact tree where he'd been standing. The snow around it was completely undisturbed. No footprints. Nothing except my own tracks walking in. I followed the single line of prints I'd seen earlier. The ones leading to that ladder stand. They stopped at the base. I looked up. The stand was empty. There was a thin layer of snow on the seat, untouched. Nobody had climbed it, but those tracks led directly to it. Where did he go? The markers on my way back to my own stand. I noticed something tied to a branch, a strip of orange hunting vest material, knotted tight. I thought maybe someone had marked a trail. Then I saw another one, 15 feet away, then another. They were tied at different heights, different trees, like someone had been marking something very specific, like someone had been planning something. That was the first time I seriously considered leaving. I went back to my truck around noon, ate some food, tried to warm up, tried to shake the feeling that I was being watched from the tree line. I almost drove away. I almost listened to that voice in my head, screaming at me to leave. But I didn't. I told myself I was overthinking. I went back in around 2 p.m. I planned to sit until dark. That was a mistake. About an hour before sunset, I heard footsteps. Slow, deliberate, behind me. Too heavy to be a deer, too spaced out to be a squirrel. I turned around, 30 yards behind my stand. The same man, closer this time. I could see his face now. Patchy beard, dirty. His skin was pale, too pale, like he hadn't seen real daylight in weeks. But his expression is what I'll never forget. He was smiling. Not a real smile. Just his teeth, barely showing. Like he was trying to remember how humans do it. And in his right hand, he was holding something. At first, I thought it was a stick.